Okay. So 2A, writing in those 4 questions, and then also talking about Pareto chart. What order do the bars have to be in for a Pareto chart? It's in your notes. Look through your notes and you should find that. Pie chart. How many degrees are in a circle? What's the degree equivalent of every category? We did that in class also, so you should be able to sort that out, and that's what you need to turn in today. Good? So end of class, just turn it in to me here or in the back of the room. Either place is fine. Second thing is connect back to today. Are there any questions about the homework? Anybody have questions about the homework? All right, do not spend more than 10 minutes on any one homework problem. If you do, just skip it, move on to the next one, and then come back and ask me questions in class the night that it's due. They're always due, tonight. So start in 4.3 before tonight, and then when you get to one that you got 10 minutes, set it aside, move on to the rest of them, and ask me that question later. Right? Like today in here. Which means you can't wait till the last minute, because then you can't ask the question. You can do them late. If people don't realize that, you just only get half credit for any problems that are late. After midnight. What else? Exam 1 is moved to a week from today. So our first exam will be a week from today. On Monday, I'm going to do a review session in 600, right over there, from 3 to 4, and from 7 and 8. So you guys can take your choice, whether you want the 3 to 4 spot or the 7 to 8 spot. Come to either one of those, or both if you want. Yeah?
So we do the homework. You said if you turn in late, it's 50% off of it. So
not if you turn it in late. Whatever problems you don't complete on time. So you finish problem 7, midnight comes, 8, 9, 10, then 1 through 7 will get full credit. 8, 9, 10 will get half credit.
Cool.
Yeah, as long as you pick the submit your answer, or save the one that tells you whether you're right or wrong. Check answer. So as you hit the check answer, then you're fine.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I'm. Can anybody confirm that? I'm 90% certain that's how that works.
Okay. Yeah.
If you could double check that and let me know if that's otherwise. But I know people who've worked on partially and they said, "Oh, I didn't submit," and it still gave them credit. So.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it because when online it just says submit it after this time 11:59 you get 50% off.
And it shows 50%.
The entire assignment.
Oh.
The entire assignment.
Really?
Yeah, and I had completed everything. I got 100%, but I forgot to submit, and at 12:09 I realized that I didn't submit it.
Oh.
So then I was like, oh shit.
Top.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
Check with me and we'll check. I'll look at my records. So check me during the break. Okay. Cool. Thanks for letting me know. Speaking of the project, here are some things so again, don't do the project until I give you instructions for the next part, because there's a reason. So here, how many classes did you take this semester? No one's taking 13 classes or 10 classes this semester. So DE, if you're DE, check that and fix it. How fast do you typically drive on the freeway? If you typically drive 75 miles an hour, there is no way that the fastest speed you've ever driven is 65. Right? Everybody understands that? So BB, fix that. I don't know what they should be, but that's wrong. Here, RB, you have 2 friends who make $28 million and $60 million a year. Remember, this is the amount in thousands. It's somebody else who makes 76,000, which might be correct. But this is the amount you make in thousands. So in other words, write down how much they make, and then cut off the last 3 numbers, right? Round the last 3 zeros, just drop those off. Does everyone understand what I'm saying? So if I make $2,000, I would put in 2 there. If I make $1,900, I'd probably round that to 2,000, and then cut off the 1,000 and just put in 2. Good? Everybody understand that idea? Great. Some people did some really good rounding in there. On this one here, you didn't put your name in there. No name, no credit. I don't even know who you are, so I wouldn't even know how to credit you. So if that's you, We'll go back to that, come back to that in a minute. These ones here, 16 classes, PS, you gotta fix that. YR, you got a friend who makes. I don't think this is correct. They make, first of all, they're saying that they're making $19.9 billion. Even if they screwed up, their claim is they're making $19 million, which seems unlikely. So if someone's giving you BS answers, fix them. Or else it's on you, and I will take off points from this. So you guys have until Thursday to fix this. If you don't fix it, then I'll fix it, and I'll take points off. Instead of your full 10 points, you might only get 8. Everybody on board? Yes?
For how many classes you're taking, if you have like a high schooler put 7, should we make it something else, or is that fine? 'Cause, like,
How many LPC classes are you taking?
okay, so can I just like make
And if they're not, then make them a full-time student that I just before.
okay, I'll
Just change it to 4.
change it.
So that's full-time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, and then this one here, this should be, it says leave blank, if this doesn't apply to you, that should be 0. It should be blank, it shouldn't be 0. So YR, you should fix that also. And then this one over here is, so if you have people who had a major of NA, and history, and these were their things, they live in Livermore or Tracy. They were born in Tracy, Livermore, Livermore, Riverton, Manteca. If this is you, right? You kind of know 4 males you asked. Then you need to put your name in there. Type your name into these spots, or else you are not going to get credit. Everybody on board? Somebody said that for holiday was 420, right? If that's you, put your thing in here. Put your initials in there. All right, enough of that. Board. Our exam is in class a week from today. Covers all these things. Bring a pencil. 1 half page, 1-sided of handwritten notes by you. You're allowed to have. You can bring scratch paper, a basic calculator. You can have a fancy calculator, it doesn't matter, just a calculator. Basic is fine. And your binder in order if you want extra credit. You get extra credit for if you smart chops, so a half point each. 4 hours of tutoring equals 1 extra credit point. And if you're enrolled in the support course, let me know. Write that down. Jim Hannon, my friend Jim Hannon, the stat guru, he's in tutoring in 600 over here. Tuesdays from 4 to 5:30. He might be willing to go out there this Thursday since you guys have an exam on Tuesday. Who would want to study on Thursday before class with the exam on Tuesday? Would anybody actually go? Okay, a couple people. I'll let them know. There were like 5 people from last class, so okay, I'll let him know, and he could probably do this Thursday as well. Also, my former student Alejandra is tutoring in this glass area over here on Tuesdays from 4 to 5. And I might see if Jim can add in on the Thursdays, because it seems like that way you have a couple of different days you can go. Okay, let's start in with this. Megan, go ahead and read.
2 events are mutually exclusive events or different events if it is impossible for them to occur simultaneously.
Great. I think I had you read this one. I feel like I had you read this one already. Mahika, go ahead and read the first one.
Additional probability of A or B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B, and that's mutually exclusive.
Excellent, thank you. Alyssa O, go ahead and read the next one.
The probability of A or B equals the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and not mutually exclusive.
All right, great job, guys. All right, so again, if they're mutually exclusive, you just add them. If they're not mutually exclusive, you add them and then you subtract their overlap. Or means add. Or means add. Everyone say or means add. Get used to thinking that. If you can't remember, then try to think back to the simplest example. Probability that a puppy is male or female. Remember we had that early on? 100%. Right, you just added them. So that if you are trying to struggle to remember what they are, find a simple example that you know, that you kind of wrap your head around, and then build that out to the more complicated example. The next one, initial rules for multiplication rules. Ria, D, read the first one.
The probability of A and B is equal to the probability of A multiplied by the probability of B.
Perfect, if they're independent. And then Alyssa, Q, read the next one.
The probability of A and B equals the probability of A times the probability of B given A dependent.
Great. So again, and means multiply. Everybody say that? Right? And means multiply. Because you have to pass this, you have to be in both. This one and that one has to happen. Both have to happen. So you can think back to like the reminder, like probability that you flip a heads and a heads. Both, you have to pass both tests. So only half of people pass the first test, and only half the people pass that second test. So only half of a half get through both tests. So only 1/4, half of a half, of the time you're going to flip two heads. And again, go back to something simple that you can remember and kind of build it out from there. Also, just want to point out, these two are really, you can always just use this one if you wanted to. If you weren't sure, in other words, this class was somebody else, the next class who asked, but they're like, well, how do I know which one to use? You can always just use this one. Because if they're independent, then this one will be the same as that one. They'll be the same number, so it won't matter. That's one of the tests for independent, is that the probability of B is the same thing as the probability of B given A, if A and B are independent. So you can always just use this one, and you're always fine. I don't know if you guys remember, like, the probability, what's the probability I roll a 4?
1/6.
1/6. What's the probability that I roll a 4 given I flip the heads?
1/6.
So 1/6, right? So these stay the same if they're independent. So everybody pair up, find a partner. Partner, 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 partner. Partner, one of you will have to go with the guy in the corner. So Noe, can you partner with him? Partner, partner. And then one of you, who's partnering over here? You two? Okay, so then you two partner together? Oh wait, someone else is coming in. Shoot, okay. You two partner together. That's fine. All right, so all the A's, raise your hand. It'll take literally like a minute. All the A's, raise your hand. Oh, wait, so one person needs to be A, one person needs to be B. A's, raise your hand. Pick one to be A, one to be B. You can't both be A. All right. All the B's, raise your hand. Okay, so be with that group and you can be a B. Well, you guys can have two B's. All right, the A's. Take 30 seconds and explain to your B's what mutually exclusive means. Go. All right, who has a good definition they think of mutually exclusive? Who thinks they have a nice clear way of explaining what mutually exclusive means? Nobody? Yeah, go ahead.
When two events cannot happen simultaneously.
Yeah, when two events cannot happen at the same time, cannot occur simultaneously. That works. When there is no overlap, right? When two events cannot occur simultaneously. All right, all B's, explain to your A's what independent means. Go, and you guys just take turns. Both of you guys have to do it. All right, who has a good explanation of independent? Anybody? That's a little harder, huh? Nobody has a good explanation of independent? Yeah.
When one event doesn't affect the other.
Yeah, one event occurring does not affect the other one. I'm okay with you guys giving me just this too. When probability of A equals probability of A given B. Right? You could also write it down as, or you could do when probability of A and B equals probability of A times probability of B. Because this is not always true, right? When it is true, then you know it's independent. So either one of these two tests will work. So this is the easiest way to test, is to either, if you know what probability of A and B is, if it's the same, if it equals probability of A times probability of B, then you're good. Or when probability of A is the same as probability of A, again, probability of rolling a 4, probability of rolling a 4. These should be the same probability. Probability of male given it's the yellow lab, right? It should be probability of yellow both times. Just given something. This is given nothing, this is given something. Adam.
Never mind. You kind of answered it.
Okay, cool. And again, are yellow and male mutually exclusive?
No.
No. Why? Yeah, they have overlap. Right? You can be yellow and male. Are yellow and male independent? No. How do you know the easiest way? Find all of your ratios. What are the things that matter to male and yellow? Here's the total male, here's the total yellow, here's the male yellows and the total, and find these fractions. Right? So you'd say this. You'd say no, because 4/6, that's this one right here, is not equal to 12/20. Does everybody kind of follow where those came from? All right, so find your ratios. 4/6, 12/20. Those are not equal. That's the simplest way of finding it. Questions? Give me thumbs. Like, totally got it. Totally okay. I need thumbs. I'm not getting thumbs. I just need thumbs from people. Where are you guys at? Okay. All right. I think people mostly have it, so I think we hold on. And again, with the multiplication, think of it like a river that flows, right? If a third goes to red, then you only have a third of the river. When it branches again to the second red, it's a third of a third of the river. It's not a third of the whole river. So this here is a third of 2/3 of the river. So it's a third of 2/3, it's 2/9. It's less. A couple things to note also. Remember that whenever you branch, 100% of what you have should go somewhere. Right, so this better add up to 1. When this branches, this better add up to 1. It's one whole. It's 100% of a third. It's not 100% of everything, but it's 100% of this third should go somewhere. This should also add up to 1 or 100%, because this 2/3, it all has to go somewhere. 100% of it has to go somewhere. Does everyone kind of see what I'm saying? I can't have a third go to here and a third goes to there, then a third of it just evaporates and disappears. That's not. Then you should put evaporates or something, but it can't just disappear. Okay. So, does everyone understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. This should add up to 1 or 100%. Because whatever is here present at that point has to go somewhere. A third of it goes there, 2/3 of it goes there. All right, so I'll give you guys, let's say, take a look at lab 3 from last class. So this is the one that starts off at a gathering consisting of 8 men and 17 women. So remember we talked about how if we're talking about millions of people, like all Californians or all Americans, taking 3 or 4 or 5 will not affect the probability of all Americans. Everyone, you guys remember that? So 46% of all Americans will still stay 46%. But here we're talking about how many people? 8 men and 17 women, that's 25 people. If I take 1, does that change things?
Yeah.
Yeah, because every person is like 4% of the group, right? So that changes things a lot. So here, every person matters. So I would say, get used to drawing out a tree. Draw out a tree for it, because you should practice with trees and have them down really well before this next exam. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes to work on this one.